welcome to the August 2020 edition of Myopia Musings, which is brought to you from Outback Queensland. We've taken a week out to drive up to a place called Winton, which is about 1,300 kilometres from where we are, or that's about 830 miles. I checked on Google while we still had signal earlier. And Winton's a tiny little town of less than 1,000 people, and what it's really famous for, it's surrounded by sheep and cattle stations, and tourism is really what it's famous for as the dinosaur capital of Australia. So out near here, there was a discovery in 2009 of two brand new dinosaurs, Australian-only dinosaurs, which have been called Banjo and Matilda. They have various long Latin names, which I don't remember right now. I'm sure you can look that up if you're a bit of a dinophile. And just today we drove about an hour and a half each way to the world's only dinosaur stampede. So Paul and I really love this. We thought it was so fascinating to look at these tracks because it tells you about the animals when they're alive as opposed to looking at bones. And it was a whole bunch of things came together for these trackways to occur and to be preserved from about 95 to 98 million years ago. And there was, as we learnt today, a big theropod, so a sort of a velociraptor looking thing, although we've learnt that's not the correct term for them, who'd come to a waterhole and he scared away a whole bunch of herbivore dinosaurs called ornithopods and a bunch of chicken-sized dinosaurs called coelosaurs or something like that. But it was just fascinating looking at the prints and how the big guy had walked and then run and then swiveled and what that sort of told you about the scene. Trying to imagine a scene in time nearly 100 million years ago is just a fascinating, mind-bending experience. So look, I'll include some little shots of maybe some dinosaur bones and a little bit of the surrounds here in Outback Queensland. It's winter, so it's August. It's almost spring in a couple more days. And in this wintry weather, it's cracked 30 degrees today, so that's about 85 Fahrenheit. It gets cool at night, down to about half of that, but it's a whole lot warmer than what it was at home. So we're hoping that once we get back home, winter will have gone. We've escaped it for a week, and hopefully it's done as we move into spring. So look, what I want to do is just give you a little update on what we've added to the Myopia Profile website this month in August. And there's two main things that I want to tell you about. The first is a whole bunch of new science. So if you click on the science tab of our website, we won't have any fancy web animations in this particular video. You're going to get scenery instead. So I might just turn a little bit of scenery. We're staying on a sheep station at the moment. Back on track again. We're going to have an amazing sunset. I'll give you some sunset shots a bit later. Anyway, back on track. The two things that I was going to tell you about is the science section. If you hit the science tab on the website, there's a whole bunch of new content there. Now, Paul's building that, and also our newest recruit, Ailsa Lane, who's in the UK, is building a bunch of content where we're looking at specific abstracts. Just trying to get that sun right. There we go. Hopefully that's not hurting you too much in the eyes, or put it behind my head. We'll go there. So all of these new content are the ones that don't have the images on them. They're all abstract specific. So they've taken one abstract, analysed it in view of the literature in other publications, and included a summary and also the clinical significance. So jump onto the website and hit the science tab, and there's heaps of fantastic new stuff there for you to look at. The second big content release for this month was on axial length. And we sent a newsletter, it was earlier this week, so towards the end of August, with a bunch of new content, our first educational partnership with Johnson & Johnson Vision. And this included a lead clinical blog called 6 Questions on Axial Length Measurement in Myopia Management. It included 2 new case studies, which include a bunch of research data and how you can understand this area and how you can translate this into practice. If you are measuring axial length, or if you're thinking about measuring axial length, what this could mean in terms of your ongoing management. Well, in terms of initial management and ongoing management strategies as well. There's a fly, which you probably just saw fly into the frame. So if you click on the clinical tab, you'll find the new blog. if you click on the case studies tab, you'll find some new case studies, and there's a bunch of stuff added to the science tab as well. And this was all shared as a newsletter, as a big release on Tuesday, about a week ago. I've forgotten the date of Tuesday because I'm technically on holidays right now, although I'm working, so my apologies for forgetting the date of Tuesday, but it will have hit your inboxes if you're a subscriber, and if not, jump to the bottom of the website, scroll right down to the bottom, and there's a little box there where you can subscribe to our website, and you can also view previous editions as well. Now that's probably about all I wanted to tell you for this August Myopia Musings. I wanted to show you a little bit of Outback Queensland. This is a really harsh place to live. It's hot, well, it's warm in winter and it's blisteringly hot. It cracks 45 degrees regularly here in summer. It's dry. They're in a really, really long drought. But then it floods in the summertime, so there were floods earlier this year. So it's a really, really harsh place to live, and coming here in winter and seeing the vast expanse, you know, the hours and hours we've driven with just nothing to see, just flat land as far as the eye can see, just really gives us an idea of the massive size of just Queensland, the state that I've always lived in, just the size of Queensland, let alone all of Australia, but also how tough, how isolated it is for people living out here, and how tough it is for our farmers. So I want to show you, I'll show you some landscape shots. I want to show you the sunset, because out here, being able to see as far as the eye can see, it's a pretty spectacular sight. I might show you some dinosaur fun facts as well. As scientists, obviously, we were pretty excited to look at the dinosaur tracks and think about the type of research questions they're asking now about individual animals, and how that's sort of pushing the boundaries of what we understand is really what we're doing in the realm of myopia as well. So look, I hope you enjoy this little taste of Outback Queensland. Hopefully that sunset, so it's currently 5:42, the sun's going to set in the next half hour or so. It sets pretty quickly here in Australia, it just gets the job done. Hopefully you can see a big bunch of our great southern land here, and I'll show you some more images in a moment, and thanks for listening. Cara, come here. Hey, hello. Hello. Hey.